Most riders think motorcycle batteries die suddenly. One day the bike starts, the next day, nothing. Dead battery, dead silence, pure frustration. And riders blame the battery, they blame the brand, they blame bad luck. But here's the uncomfortable truth: most motorcycle batteries don't die suddenly. They're slowly killed every single day by habits, by neglect, by small mistakes riders don't even realize they're making, especially beginners, and especially riders who don't ride every single day. I'm Matthew. This is Autozium. And today we're talking about 5 mistakes that kill motorcycle batteries. And I'd bet you're doing at least one of them right now. Take a breath. Let's get into it. Number 1, short rides quietly kill batteries. This one catches a lot of riders off guard because on the surface it feels harmless. You fire up the bike, ride 5 minutes to the shop, ride 10 minutes to work, park it again. The bike starts every time until it doesn't. Here's what's really happening under the seat. Starting a motorcycle is the single biggest drain on the battery. That starter motor pulls a huge amount of power in a very short burst. That's normal. The battery is designed for that. What isn't normal is never giving the charging system enough time to recover what was lost. On most bikes, the alternator doesn't start charging effectively the moment you move. It needs RPM, it needs time, and it needs sustained riding. So when your rides are short, the math doesn't work out. You take a big chunk of power to start the bike. You give back only a little before shutting it off. Then you repeat that cycle over and over. Each ride leaves the battery slightly weaker than before. You won't notice it right away. Starts still feel fine. Lights still work. Everything seems normal. But internally, the battery is never fully charging. And lead-acid batteries hate living in a partially discharged state. That's how capacity is lost. That's how plates sulfate. That's how a good battery becomes unreliable without warning. This is especially brutal for riders who use their bike like a car replacement for errands. Short hops, frequent starts, minimal runtime. If that's your riding style, your battery needs support. That means longer rides when possible, or a battery tender between rides. Without one of those, you're slowly draining the battery to death. Not all at once, but a little at a time. And when it finally gives up, it feels sudden, even though it wasn't. Number 2, letting the bike sit without a tender. This one is the biggest battery killer of them all, not riding. A motorcycle that sits is harder on a battery than one that's ridden regularly. Modern bikes are never truly off. Even when the key is out, things are still drawing power. Clocks, ECUs, immobilizers, security systems, memory circuits. Each one draws a tiny amount of current. Nothing dramatic, nothing noticeable. But it's constant. Leave the bike sitting for a couple of weeks, and the battery voltage drops. Leave it for a month, it drops further. Leave it for a season, damage begins. Here's the part riders don't realize. Once a lead-acid battery drops below a certain voltage, chemical damage starts. Sulfation builds on the plates. Capacity is permanently reduced. Even if you recharge it later, the battery is never the same. That's why riders say things like, "It was fine before winter." "I charged it, but it still won't hold power." It keeps dying even though it's new. The damage already happened while it sat discharged. This is exactly why a battery tender isn't a luxury. It's preventative maintenance. A proper tender doesn't overcharge. It monitors voltage. It keeps the battery in a healthy range. If your bike sits for more than a week or two at a time, a tender can literally double or triple battery life. Skipping it is like leaving your engine without oil and hoping it'll be fine later. Sometimes it is. Often it isn't. Number 3, poor connections and dirty terminals. This is the silent killer almost nobody checks because it doesn't look dramatic. Loose terminals, slight corrosion, dust and grime buildup. The battery itself might be perfectly healthy, but electricity can't flow efficiently, and when power flow is restricted, everything suffers. The starter has to work harder. Voltage drops during cranking. Electronics behave strangely. Charging becomes inconsistent. From the rider's perspective, it feels random. Some days the bike starts fine. Other days it cranks slowly. Sometimes the dash flickers. Sometimes nothing happens. And riders blame the battery when the real issue is resistance. Here's the dangerous part. Bad connections force the battery to work harder than it should. Every start becomes more stressful. Every ride drains more than it should. That extra strain shortens battery life fast. And it doesn't take much. A slightly loose terminal, a thin layer of corrosion, a connection that looks good enough. 5 minutes of maintenance can prevent years of frustration. Pull the seat, check the terminals, clean them, tighten them properly. It's boring, it's unglamorous, and it saves batteries like nothing else. Most electrical problems start at the connections, not the components. Number 4, overloading the electrical system without realizing it. This is where a lot of well meaning riders accidentally murder perfectly good batteries. You add heated grips, then auxiliary lights, then a phone charger, then maybe a dash cam, maybe a GPS, maybe a louder horn, maybe all of it. Individually, none of these seem like a big deal. But electricity doesn't care about intentions, it cares about math. Your motorcycle's charging system was designed with a specific output limit. It's meant to run the bike's stock electronics, charge the battery, and handle normal riding conditions. When you add accessories, you're subtracting from that margin. At highway speeds, you might get away with it. But at idle, in traffic, at low RPM, that's where things start going wrong. At low engine speeds, the charging system produces less power. If your accessories are drawing more than the system can generate, the battery quietly fills the gap. And riders don't notice. The bike still runs. The lights still glow. The grips still heat. But the battery is discharging while you ride. That's the nightmare scenario. You think riding is helping the battery, but it's actually killing it. This is especially common with heated gear in cold weather, high output auxiliary lighting, cheap USB chargers that draw power constantly, accessories wired directly to the battery instead of switched circuits. And here's another mistake riders make. They install everything correctly, but without relays. Without relays, accessories can draw power even when the bike is off. Tiny drains, constant drains. That's a double hit. One drain while riding, another while parked. Eventually the battery gives up, and it looks like bad luck. It isn't. Accessories are fine. Modern bikes can handle a lot, but everything needs to be installed with intention. That means knowing your bike's charging output, using relays and switched power, avoiding unnecessary draw at idle, turning things off when you don't need them. Electrical greed is real, and batteries always pay the price first. Number 5, ignoring early warning signs until it's too late. This is the most frustrating one because the bike always warns you. Slow cranking, dim lights at idle, needing a second attempt to start, electronics resetting, dash flickers, clock losing time. These are not quirks. They are not just how bikes are. They are not something to ride through. They are early warning signs. Batteries rarely fail suddenly. They fade, voltage drops slightly, capacity shrinks. Cold starts become harder, charging takes longer, and riders adapt instead of fixing the problem. They rev the bike more. They hold the starter longer. They say, it'll be fine once it warms up. Until one day it isn't. And that day is always inconvenient. Early morning, middle of nowhere, bad weather, late for work. Here's the harsh truth. Once a battery is weak enough to strand you, it's already too far gone. Jump-starting it doesn't fix it. Charging it doesn't reset the damage. Ignoring the signs turns a simple replacement into a surprise failure. And it's not just about being stranded. Low battery voltage causes weird behavior. ECUs misbehave. Fuel injection gets inconsistent. Sensors throw false errors. Suddenly, riders are chasing electrical ghosts when the battery was the root cause all along. Testing a battery is easy. Replacing one is cheaper than a tow. And preventing failure costs almost nothing. Pay attention to how your bike starts. It's one of the clearest health indicators you have. When your bike starts strong, everything feels better. When it starts weak, something is already wrong. Batteries don't ask for much. They just don't like being ignored. Here's the truth most riders never hear. Motorcycle batteries don't die from age alone. They die from neglect, from short rides, from sitting unplugged, from bad connections, from electrical overload, from being ignored. Do the basics right, and a battery can last years. Ignore them, and you'll be buying batteries like oil filters. If this helped you, hit subscribe and stay with me here on Autozium. I'll keep breaking down the stuff riders learn the hard way, so you don't have to. Ride smart, ride prepared, and I'll see you in the next one.